Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. I used to film the majority of my meal prep videos from this view until I changed and started doing close up. So I actually just got home from work and had no plans on doing a video, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing for dinner. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW program, but on my channel I also share calories, but you don't need to be on any type of weight loss program to get tips and ideas from my channel. I'd love to have you as part of the family. So I got home from work today and went to get my dinner kits out. If you're new to my channel, I do DIY dinner kits where I basically just take everything and put it into a bag. It's kind of like the meal delivery services that you get, and that way they're ready to go the night that I have them. So for tonight, I was planning on everything bagel cracker-crusted pork medallions with broccoli. This is a recipe that I actually got from Home Chef. The recipe is a Home Chef recipe that I had delivered previously, and then this time I wanted to make it again, and I'm just doing it into my own kit. So I just took the ingredients from their website. I'll link their website. I'll link it down below. If you are not interested in DIY dinner kits and you want to try out Home Chef, I'll leave a link down below to them as well. So for today, I was going to do it with the pork medallions like I had it last time when I ordered it. But I got looking, and when you order from Home Chef, they have where you can customize your dinner. And I saw in here that instead of the pork medallions, you could choose chicken breast or salmon. So this week for salmon, I was just planning on doing a plain pan-seared salmon. That's all I was going to do. So I thought, I know what these taste like with the pork tenderloin. I'm curious what they taste like with the salmon. So I'm gonna save my pork tenderloins for tomorrow. I'll do something different with those. I don't know what yet. And I'm gonna end up doing everything bagel and cracker crusted salmon for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna show you how to make this, and just keep in mind that you can use whatever protein you want, whether it be salmon, chicken, pork. I know this would taste really good on chicken as well. So if you're not a pork eater or a salmon eater and you want to just do it on chicken breast, I know this would be good on there. So let me bring you over next to my stove and I'll show you how we put this together. So I'm going to use my salmon. I just won't be using the rice. I think I might still use the asparagus in here, and we'll just do asparagus and broccoli. So in this kit I have broccoli. So I'm going to take all my stuff out of this kit, and I'll share with you what that all is in just a minute. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my OXO salad spinner and get my vegetables washed. That's going to be a lot of vegetables, but that's okay, because what I'll do is if we have leftover vegetables, then we'll just save them for tomorrow night, and I'll have them when I make the pork tomorrow night. Some of these I'm going to have to cut. Let me cut the ends off some of those. Also, I forgot to tell you, so the points doing it with the pork was 9 points for all programs and about 490 calories. With doing it with the salmon, it's only going to be 6 points for blue and purple. And if you're on green, it's just going to depend on what you use for your salmon, whether you're using farmed or wild, and the same with if you're counting calories. So just keep that in mind. Just make the adjustments into your own tracker. Okay, so the recipe calls for cooking this actually in a pan on the stove, but I'm going to actually roast these. I'm going to roast these in the oven. I'm going to bring those over to my sink. I'm not going to bring you over there. I'm just going to put some water in here and some white vinegar and let those sit and soak in the vinegar water for a little bit, and then I'll rinse them real good. Okay, so I've got my salmon here. These are about 5-ounce portions that I'm using, and mine are already skinned, so I already have the skin off, but if you cook them with the skin on, that's perfectly fine. So now what we're going to do is just season these with some garlic, salt, and pepper. Okay, and I'm going to set those aside. Now I'm going to take, in here I have 2 ounces of cream cheese. So let me go through everything that I have. So we've got the 12 ounces of broccoli. We have 2 teaspoons of everything bagel seasoning, a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, which I forgot. I already had my garlic salt out, and I already used some of it on this, so I'll use the other half of that on the broccoli. Also, it says 1 ounce of shredded Parmesan. I have 2 tablespoons in here. I'll use 1 tablespoon for each portion. And then also 4 crackers. And I said the 2 ounces of light cream cheese. And then in here I have about a half a tablespoon of butter. The other thing that's on here is honey Dijon mustard dressing, which is actually for the broccoli, but I'm not going to be using that. So now what we want to do is mix the cream cheese with the everything bagel seasoning. So it says to put it in a bowl and do it, but I'm kind of thinking rather than dirty a bowl, I think I can probably mix it all right in here if I'm very careful. Once you get it stuck down in there too, I was afraid it would kind of go flying all over the place, but now we're good. So just try and mix it up the best you can. All right, that's it for that. So just set that aside. The other thing I'm gonna do is crush my crackers. So I have crackers in here. I'm just gonna leave them right in here. Crush them right in there. So this is basically just gonna be kind of like a breading on the top of the salmon. Something you could also do is if you don't have containers and you store them in a sandwich bag, then it'd be a lot easier to crush them right in a sandwich bag. So what we're going to do after we sear the salmon, we're going to put this on there, then we're going to put the Parmesan and then the crackers, and then that's going to go in the oven. So we're good over here. We're going to set that aside and I'll get you over to my stove. Okay, so I've got my broccoli and my asparagus washed. I've sprayed a pan with cooking spray and I have my oven heated to 425. So if you want to add some olive oil at this point, you can. Just make sure to add for the points. So I'm just going to take my misto and spritzing it with some olive oil, which I need to load this back up. Then I'm going to take that garlic salt, which I had forgot that I had this portion out. I don't usually do that. When I do my DIY dinner kits, I don't usually do the spices, and I forgot I did this one. So I'm just going to use half of it because the other half was supposed to go on the salmon, and I've already done that. I'll just save that. So how you prepare your broccoli is up to you. If you want to do it the way they say on the recipe, like I said, I'll have this recipe linked down below, and you can do it that way if you want. Okay, so that is going to go in the oven because this is going to take longer than the salmon. Now what you want to do is take an oven safe pan because this is going to go into the oven afterwards. So what we're going to do is cook the meat here and then we're going to get it under the broiler for just a couple minutes after we put the topping on. So this is where, just depending on the meat you're using, it may take different time to cook. So I have my pan heating up on medium. I'm going to cook the salmon for anywhere between 4 to 6 minutes each side. I'm going to keep an eye on it though because those are not overly thick. So I'm just going to have to keep an eye on it. I'm thinking it might only take about 3 minutes each side. So we'll see. All right, after your pan is hot, now add the teaspoon of olive oil and the ½ tablespoon of butter. And this is light butter that I'm using. So if you want to just use olive oil, that's completely up to you. Now I'm going to get my salmon in. If you have salmon with the skin on, make sure the skin is up in the pan. So you would want the skin side here. So now I'm just going to let that sit and cook. I'm not going to touch it. And I'm going to kind of watch it. Usually what happens is you'll be able to see the sides will start cooking. When it gets about halfway up, then I'll flip it over. Now, if you have a cast iron pan, which I do, but I don't know why I didn't even grab it, but if you have a cast iron pan, salmon cooks real well in the cast iron as well. So if you are new to cooking salmon, one thing, don't touch it. You're going to want to take this and unstick it. It's probably sticking right now. That's good. Once it gets that nice sear on it, it will automatically release itself. So as much as you want to sit here and move these around, don't move them. Let them sit. That's what gets them that nice sear. All right, so one way you can tell if they have that sear, if you do this and they start moving, that means they're good. So if you touch them and they are not moving, that means they don't have the sear yet. So now we're going to take these and just flip them over. And there's that nice sear. So I only had those on that side for 3 minutes and it's almost halfway. I think I'm going to leave them here for 4 minutes. These are going to go under the broiler, so they are going to cook a little bit more in the oven. So I'm just going to let these finish cooking and then we'll get our topping on. All right, so I got a little sidetracked. My daughter called. So these are really crispy on the bottom, which is perfectly fine with me because that honestly is how I like them. But I'm afraid that they might be a little bit overcooked inside. So I've got my burner shut off. Now I'm going to add the cream cheese mixture to the top. So this is not, I've had this sitting out, but it's still kind of hard. So this is going to be a little interesting to try and spread out on the salmon. And I did take my vegetables out and just kind of stirred them around and put them back in as well. So just try to spread that over top, and then we're going to top this with the Parmesan and then the crackers. That's softening up now. So if your cream cheese is still hard when you put it on there, the heat will soften it up and you'll be able to spread it a little better. Okay, now we're going to take the Parmesan and just sprinkle that over the top. And I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to save some of this for the broccoli. So I'm going to put about half. So it's going to be about half a tablespoon on each salmon. And then the rest of it I'm going to put on the broccoli. And then the crackers are going on top of that. And then just kind of push it down in. So as you can see, that's a lot of crackers, so you could definitely back off on the crackers and just even use 2 instead of 4. So it's 2 crackers on each one. So just kind of push those in with your clean hands. And then that's going under the broiler for about 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes. You definitely want to watch these because they will burn very quickly. Okay, so I just put the Parmesan on the broccoli and I put that back in the oven. So that is just about done, and now I'm gonna take the salmon and I'm just gonna take my Misto olive oil sprayer and I'm just gonna give it a spritz with olive oil, which I just filled this so it's not gonna spray out right. But I just wanted to give it a little tiny spray with olive oil, and that's not really a little tiny spray. So I'll have to add some points for olive oil. So now what I'm going to do is take my broccoli out. I've had that in there baking at 425, and I'm going to turn my oven on to broil, and I'm going to just pop these, like I said, under the broiler just for 2 minutes. Okay, so we got one that got real nice and golden and one that just didn't want to, but I don't want to keep them in there any longer because I don't want them to overcook. So I also decided just to leave my broccoli in there while I had the broiler on and get those a little bit crispy. I like them that way. So that's it. Now I'm just going to get these plated up. All right, and then I'm going to give them a spray with this I Can't Believe It's Not Butter spray. And I'm going to spray the tops of the salmon. And there we go. That is dinner. So like I said, you can put this topping on salmon, chicken, pork. The topping is amazing. So I'm going to give this a try. Yeah, that's just as good on that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, one that I hadn't planned on doing tonight. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you in my next video. I'm Kristi, and I'm Planning Us Healthy.
Don't you know that you're beautiful?